What is up, gamers? My name is Syphic, and today we will be going over ways you can level up every single skill in Hypixel Skyblock. Let's get right to it. The first skill we will be going over is combat, and the way to grind combat is through grinding revenants. I think this is quite handily the best method to do it since they got rid of ghasts on private islands. With revenants, you can choose to do either tier 4s or tier 3s. If you want to get more combat XP for a lot more expensive, you can go with the tier 4 revenants. These are very unprofitable, but do give you quite a bit of combat XP. While if you go with tier 3s, although it's still not profitable, you can grind not too much less combat XP for quite a significantly cheaper price. Let's try them both and see how much combat we get from them. Before you start grinding your skill, make sure you grab a pet if your skill allows one. Every single skill allows a pet except alchemy for boosting your XP from it. For combat, we use a wolf, as this level 73 wolf boosts my combat XP by 22%. And the first revenant we'll be testing to see how much XP we can get is a tier 3 one. So, at the start of this tier 3, we have 178,000 towards combat 24. Now I'll see you guys at the end of this tier 3. So now that we have killed our tier 3 boss, let's see how much combat we got. And just like that, we're at 181,000. That's over 3,000 combat XP in a mere. Let's quickly check how long it took. 3k combat XP in less than a minute. And you have to remember, I'm not even using combat XP pot. So if I was using a combat XP pot, that would have been boosted by 20%. And if you do tier 3s for a whole hour, if you quickly do the math, that's around 3,000 times 6 equals 18. So it would have been 180,000 combat XP per hour if we stayed at the rate we were going, which wasn't very fast. Now let's see how much we can get from a tier 4. Now that we have killed our tier 4, let's see how much combat we got and how long it took. So this tier 4 took us around a minute and 10 seconds. And with that, we have gained ourselves roughly 7,000 combat XP. And if we do the math, if we can do one roughly around 1 minute each, because I'm not using pots, and when I do, I can usually do them in around a minute, and you can get roughly 6.5k per minute. That is roughly 360 to 400,000 combat XP per hour. That's really fast. If you are not ready to grind revenants, I suggest you grind zealots instead. They give you good money and they give you a good amount of combat XP. Anyways, let's get to the next skill. The next skill we will be going over is Foraging. As with all the skills other than alchemy, there is a pet that can help you with this. The one I'll be using for this is an epic ocelot pet. Mine level 96 one gives me a 28% foraging XP boost. And if you want even more, you can get yourself a foraging pot 3, which gives you another 20%. Foraging is a pretty easy skill to level up, as just one swing of my tree capitator went me from... Here, we'll try this time. So I'm at 14.48. One hit from a tree cap brings me to 14,636. That's nearly 200 per swing. If we go around chopping wood like this, you can see my foraging levels up quite fast. The requirements are pretty cheap. All you need is a tree capitator, and if you want to go faster, you can go ahead and get yourself a young armor or drink a haste pot, and just like that, we're gaining thousands of foraging XP in no time at all. The next skill we will be looking at is fishing. And for fishing, I recommend you pick up a legendary squid pet if you want to get even extra experience. But for me personally, I prefer to use the dolphin pet, as I often fish with lots of my friends, and that boosts my speed by quite a bit. With fishing, make sure you can get yourself at least a decent rod. I recommend a winter rod if you're just starting out, as this rod only requires fishing level 1, and it gives you a decent amount of sea creature chance and a decent amount of fishing speed. One thing about fishing is the higher the level you are, the more experience you'd gain, as the more sea creatures you can catch. And the most of the XP you can get is actually from sea creatures. As you can see, I got myself a squid, and that gave myself a 41 fishing experience, which isn't much, because it's not a very good sea creature. But if we can go ahead and get ourselves a bit of a rarer drop, you will see that we can get a lot more experience. Let's go ahead and try to get one. Another thing is, if you want to boost your fishing XP even more, make sure you get yourself a fishing set. I personally have a diver set that I like to use, but angler set is also good for the extra sea creature chance. As you can see, we managed to get ourselves a sea archer, and as we only got 40 XP from our previous squid drop, from a sea archer, you can go ahead and get yourself 170 XP, which is significantly better. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to get yourself a lot better stuff. So if we go to fishing, and we go to sea creature guide, if you get maybe a sea witch, frosty, sea guardian, sea archer, sea archers aren't very good, but if you can get yourself monster of the deep, Grinch, these sort of things, they can give yourself up to over 1,000 fishing XP per sea creature, and that's pretty good. Let's get on to the next skill. Make sure to pick yourself up a rabbit pet if you want to boost your farming XP even more. The next skill we're getting onto is farming. Farming is a little tricky because depending on where you are in the game, there's a lot of different methods. If you're early game, all I recommend is going ahead and chopping wheat here. This gives you not terrible XP, you get about 1 per. It's really not a very good method. If you really want to get farming XP, I recommend building yourself a pumpkin farm. As you can see, I have my big pumpkin farm right here along the whole thing. Sadly, I can't infinitely farm this thing because I haven't built multiple layers. But if we go ahead, grab a tree cap, because that's what I like to use for farming, get a couple slots open. From just farming a little bit of pumpkin, you'll see a massive increase. That's 5 per pumpkin, and you can get a bunch of it. If you want to get pumpkin even faster, go ahead and put yourself a young armor set on to boost your speed, and you'll notice yourself farming pumpkin even faster. The next skill we'll be going over is mining, and if you want to do this efficiently, you want to pick yourself up a miner's set and a stonk. If you want to get yourself a little more mining XP, try to pick up an epic or legendary silverfish, as this gives you boosted XP. Next, you want to go to your Next thing you want to do is you want to build one of these. This is an infinite cobblestone generator. They're pretty easy to make, and there's lots of tutorials online about them. Just search up how to make an infinite cobblestone generator, Hypixel Skyblock, and you'll find plenty of tutorials. Now that you have your full miner set and your stonk, you can go ahead into your farm and just hold up and mine cobble. This way, you can infinitely mine cobble over and over and get plenty of mining XP. As you can see, it's not super fast, but it's definitely not bad. Mining is probably one of the hardest ones to upgrade, as there's not a really good grinding method, and the best way to probably do it is just placing down snow minions. Maybe getting 20 snow minions, each with a super compactor and a lava bucket, will give you plenty of mining XP. But if you want to grind it, this is the best way to do it. The last 2 skills to work on are alchemy and enchanting. And for both of these, you want to head over to the bazaar and spend some money. The last two skills to grind are alchemy and enchanting, and for these you're going to need to spend a lot of money. For enchanting, I recommend going ahead and getting yourself a lot of enchanted lapis. I'm going to go ahead and fill my inventory, and then once you have this, you want to head on over to the witch over here, and they'll go ahead and sell you some bottles. From here, you're going to want to go ahead and put a couple of your lapis away so you have room for bottles. Pick yourself up some glass bottles, and then craft grand XP. If you don't have the recipe, go ahead and buy some from the auction house, although it'll be a lot more expensive. Now that we have our grand XP bottles, we're going to want to go ahead and pick ourselves up some enchanted sugarcane for alchemy. I'm going to go ahead and get a stack of them. That is very expensive, but will definitely boost your alchemy up. To get yourself a little more enchanting XP, pick up an epic guardian pet to get an enchanting XP boost. Now that we got ourselves our grand experience bottles, all you want to do is you want to splash yourself and see how much XP you get. As you can see, I get 39 levels, and I've already set my enchanting table so that the highest enchant I can do is actually 38 levels. That way I'm getting the most out of my enchanting XP and my grand experiences bottles. Now all you want to do for enchanting XP is splash your bottle, put a book in, enchant it. Splash a bottle, put a book in, enchant it. Splash a bottle, put a book in, enchant it. As you can see, this is a very tedious task, but it does give yourself a good amount of XP. For every single splash we're getting nearly 1,000 XP, so it's very fast to level up, but also very costly, as each single one of these stacks are around 380k. That's all there is for enchanting. You want to put it in, enchant it. As you can see, it's very fast, but as I already said, it's very costly. Once you're done with it, you want to go ahead and clear your stash. Make sure you don't have anything good in there, and then I'll get rid of all the junk books in there. Sadly, alchemy does not have a pet that boosts your alchemy XP, but I like to get myself a alchemy pet and level up as I go, because if you get a level 1 alchemy pet and level up to level 100, you can see that you can make it around $6 million from leveling up alchemy pets. The last skill we'll be looking at is alchemy. To do this, you want to get awkward potions and put in your enchanted sugar right cane in it. And from this, you'll get yourself speed 5 potions. Now you could go ahead and collect these and get plenty of XP, but to save more money, we will be putting in enchanted glowstone dust to make these speed 7 potions, as they sell more back to the NPC, therefore gaining more money back from all the money you lost. This skill is very, very fast, but also quite expensive, but as you can see, you get very, very, very high amounts of XP. Just from this one speed 7 potion, only one, we get 18,000 alchemy XP. And that'll be greatly boosted if you can get yourself an alchemy 3 potion, and just from this, 18k each. 18,000 each. As you can see, my alchemy XP, which I've already have my alchemy quite high, 60 is just simply skyrocketing. That's how fast alchemy is, but it's very expensive. And only those who have quite late game can do it properly, because it's just a very expensive skill in general to level up. But now that you have your speed 8 potions, you want to go ahead and collect them, head to the hub, and sell them to the NPC for, I believe, around 9,000 each? No, 6,000 each. That way you're getting a bit of the money back that you lost. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you guys learned something, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe so I know that you enjoy my content. And if you made it this far, go ahead and tell me your favorite color down below. Anyways, see ya!